Thanks for staying with us. See our guest here, Mr. Dayo Kunle. Mariam had a question.
Yes, some of the things that we had heard about the Dangote Refinery as it came on, that, I would like for you to either, just shed light on. So one of the things is he's been accused of monopoly and getting indiscriminate favor from different administrations, and that is why he's able to do this. And in such a way, describe it like in such a way that he's stopping other people from doing this business or any other business that he's been involved in, but in particular, this particular refining business. And would like to know, but because you had described that he made such a huge investment in this market, is it something he did because government gave him that
blank check,
that favor, something like that? Let's put it that way. Then the second one for me is, then he comes on board and he's supposed to be able to meet our demands. And the next thing we're hearing, supply is not good. He's a businessman. He will sell only to countries that are able to pay his prices. If Nigeria is not able to pay, he will not pay. We had conversations of NNPC saying there was a particular price. Dangote coming out to say, no, this is a different price. So for me, these are questions I had from the very beginning that, had gotten me concerned. The final one, third one, which is, what you had mentioned earlier, sulfur-laden products, the impact it has on our health. Like all these years, we have had this sort of product that we are importing into our country and selling to Nigerians. And why is it just coming out now? Why are we just only hearing about it? So is this also not a business move on Dangote's side to maybe discriminate other players?
Thank you. Thank you very much. They are all interrelated questions. The word monopoly is a very wrong narrative in this situation. Because if there were no refinery at all in Nigeria, either owned by government or those small mini refinery owned by some private, it would have been a different ballgame. That means he's the only one who built a refinery in Nigeria. But in this case, government-owned refineries have been in existence. And they were working epileptically. They were poorly managed by government fingers that were in charge. Those fingers I call the leprosy fingers of government, who never get anything good done. Except LLNG, that was 51% owned by international oil companies. Nigeria owned 49%. It's a success story because the international oil company own 51%. They control technical, finance, and management. So it works. It's a fortune. Even though now it's a little bit in a misfortune. So Dangote is not a monopolist. Let's remove that one. His refinery brought scale into the market. Huge scale. So economy of scale has crystallized now. He can meet the local demand and our regional demand. Regional demand means within ECOWAS, Sub-Saharan Africa. That's the capacity there today. So that is about that one. The other issue that maybe the imported items are laden with sulfur. And why are we consciously now aware? Okay, good. Why are you consciously now aware of the quality of food you need to eat? In the past, you and me, we were after quantity. You were not quality conscious. Your living environment, your sanitation, everything in the past was not too much of a concern to you. Today, the amount of garbage you see in Oregon that are smelling, gushing out methane, it's worrying you. You are now environmentally conscious because the global environment, knowledge, education, exposure, telecommunication like TVC, you are dishing out knowledge every day. So people are becoming more conscious of their lifestyle. And what they must do to sustain quality life. So if I'm to breathe quality air, good oxygen for my lung to perform well and for longevity, then it means I have to be conscious of the type of fuel I am consuming, because the developed world that are scientifically minded are saying this fuel is not good, it's low grade. Dump it somewhere else in the world where there are mining activities for the bulldozers and the payloaders to dish it out in the wilderness. Like in the Western Australia, like in the jungle of Congo. But we are now saying in the city of Lagos and Kano and Ibadan, why should you be dumping bad fuel for my timid young population that I need to grow my economy? You are giving them poison every day. This is the issue. So if Dangote is refining high quality petrol, then government and the Ministry of Environment should be happy. The Midstream Regulatory Authority should show us their own laboratory where they analyze the government-owned refineries output and where they analyze the imported petroleum products so that we see comparatively what is coming out.
Okay.
So that is about that issue. And the level of consciousness has become very, very, very high.
Can meet demand.
So, yeah.
With
So
what you
can
just
meet
said,
demand, yeah.
I'm wondering what
Lima.
the DPR, that's a, what's it called?
Department of Petroleum.
No, they have a new name now.
Yeah,
NNPDR,
LMDPRA.
yeah. So what they've been doing all these years, because that's their business, I think. Also, Dangote's pricing, can it in any way at all be made more favorable to the Nigerian populace? We have the numbers. That's why OPEC is looking this way. That's why all the international oil companies are envious of Dangote. Can it in any way favor locally, favor us here? That's two. The third one, how ecstatic are you about Boa Group, finishing their own refinery?
Madam, the last question is very simple. It's good that Boa come to market. Very simple. Let Boa come to the marketplace. See, the population of the world is 8 billion. About that now. Okay, so Africa may be about 1 billion. So if Dangote cannot meet the market of Nigeria and regional, and Boa comes, so there's space. Madam, the more the merrier. let him come. If people can project their business vision and say, oh, there is still market to be catched in the next 5 to 10 years before we transit to clean energy, let them rush into that space so that even the word monopoly will now disappear. It will now become maybe oligopolies or duopoly, whichever structure that may emerge from the marketplace. So that is about that one. The other issue about price stability, whether price can come down or not, madam, it's going to be a factor of so many things. Interest rate in your country, because the cost of borrowing, the cost of money. Then, where is the excess capacity of crude supply in your country? Crude production and supply. If you have excess crude to feed into that refinery, the price may be reasonable. But if you have scarcity of crude to feed into that refinery, it means the average cost of that crude per barrel may be very high. So, like now, he's importing. Can you imagine? He's importing because our country is doing only maybe 1.6 million barrels per day. And that 1.6 million barrels is not owned by us. The international oil company own a percentage of it. So what NNPC get may just be only 40 or 45% of it. So they have already committed it. So the cost input of the crude into the refinery will also determine his marginal cost to lead to average cost per liter. I hope you understand now. Yes. So that's what we should be expecting, madam. Not every time Nigerians, the populace are looking after how price can come down. Nigerians should be after how stable can price be so that I can plan my activities around my income. So that even wages itself should be tied to the stability of food prices and basic things. Yeah. You understand me now? So that wages earner can afford to live averagely. So, but to be dreaming that price can just come down like that, it will not happen, madam. We deceive ourselves. See, electricity, has it come down? It will not come down.
It's not.
Food prices should be what should be worrying us.
Okay.
And basic
but
health.
The price of fuel always trickles to food
everything.
And every other price. Transportation.
I agree, because we are in one part of the world that it is a deriving force. Okay. You understand now? A lot of things derives from what propels it. And what propels this economy today is petrol because of mobility. I hope you understand now. Yes. So to a large extent, it will remain a factor. But when we build up the economy, a more robust, agriculturally based economy, productive economy, people will stop talking less about the price of petrol. They will just see it as part of the regular life they have to live with.
We have to go because we just have a minute left. But to round it up, could you tell us futuristically? I mean, we talked about BOA hopefully coming into the play. There are a few other Nigerians who are modular refineries.
Even the Port Harcourt and Kaduna.
So how would all this play out? Because at the end of the day, the cost, Nigerians are saying that if more players come in, hopefully that should reduce the cost or something.
The mini refineries that you people call modular refinery, they are actually just like small toys.
Wow.
They are very small. They have very marginal impact on what we are talking about.
Wow.
Very small. Not even up to 10% impact.
Wow.
Because 5,000 barrels per day refinery, mini refinery. What is the impact of 5,000 barrels?
That's tiny.
In a country like this, that Govt may be about 35 million liters per day. 5,000, it does not even produce PMS. It produces diesel and some byproducts. So to go, the people who wants to come in, madam, they can. I will advise them to put pressure on President Tinubu to liquidate the 3 own refineries. Let them buy it and invest their money in upgrading those refineries if possible, rather than them going to invest money in new refinery. It's a long journey. If they don't know, they should come and ask us who knows about process engineering. It's a long journey to build a refinery of economic size, not toys. I hope you understand.
They said those old refineries are obsolete. They will be like
if they were allowed to have gone to Dangote Group in 2007, as it was arranged, they will have upgraded them and transformed them to world-class refineries. But it's late now. Yeah. So the new investors should look in the direction of President Tinubu and say, Oga, please, liquidate this refinery, we buy it and put our money to upgrade it. Because even the space for fossil fuel is not more than 10, 15 years. So, but I appreciate coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. We have to bring you back. We have to bring you back. We'll be speaking with Mr. Dayo Kunle. He is a technical advisor to many conversations on business issues of oil and gas. And we thank you very much, sir, for being here. That's all we can take on today's show. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.